Let's look at Galway then. It's day, what is it? Day 6 of 7, DJ, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like you're wilting there, mate.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I'm getting to it's stretching my stamina at this stage.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
Are you down all week?
Yeah, see, what happens is with race course, what happens is there's usually a kind of a handover substitution. Most people half come for the first 4 days, and then the other half come for the last 3. So actually, tonight, Friday night at Galway, they're expecting the crowd to be bigger than Ladies' Day because it's a transition. Like 10 years ago, there might have only been maybe 5,000 at this meeting, maybe 10 at the most. Now there's going to be about over 30,000 there tonight, perhaps.
Crumbs.
So it's a remarkable kind of
wow
change.
Okie doke. Well, let's look at the Galway card before you give your tips. I just do need to say, like I say, the 2018 Derby winner runs on this card. Can you name him, DJ?
Oh, absolutely. What price would you give me 1 to 3 that I'm able to name it?
Well, I backed him at 40s for the Derby this morning. So does that narrow it down? He's named after an Italian sculptor called Amedeo Modigliani. My pronunciation is better than yours. He really does interest me. I thought that debut run was really eye-catching at the Curragh behind Gustav Klimt, and that went straight into the tracker, and I've got high hopes for this horse. But anyway, I know next to nothing about Irish racing. You two know all about it. So, very concisely, David, you go first. Tell us who's going to win at Galway on Saturday.
Yeah, well, your horse is going to be possibly one of the shortest priced favourites ever in the history of Galway, I'd say. I have no idea what price. It hasn't been priced up yet, but I would say, off the top of my head, it could potentially be 2 to 9. That's my guess. And I think it'll win convincingly. That debut run, it was Porrick Beggy rode it that day, and it was almost like Wings of Eagles in the Derby. It absolutely rocketed home, and you're kind of going, where the hell was it? Like, why was it not closer? But it's typical Aidan O'Brien improver, and I think that's a nice betting slip that you have at the moment. As regards the best bet on the card, I really like one in the 450, the Ardlan Hotel Handicap, and it's called Rosine Box. Drawn and stall 1 for John Murphy, who hit the crossbar the other night. He'd won just beaten. This one asked Killarney last year. It was similar enough ground. It was yielding in the going description. Colin Keane rode it off a mark 65, won really impressively. And I think John is aiming this horse at it's the filly, but he's aiming her at these kind of big festivals. And I think this has been the aim for quite a while. It was third of 16 to Dashing at Goran last time. Flew home. Definitely, like Graham, this was one that you had to put in the horse tracker after it ran, and I was just praying for a good draw. So it's drawn and stalled 1, so that certainly is a huge chance of that.
That's Rasheen Box, number 10 in the 450. It's just that the line's not great there, DJ, so I didn't want people to miss your pearls of wisdom. Anything else?
Yeah, and our colleague in the Racing Post, Paul Byrne, who you know quite well, owns a horse that runs in the 305, the big race of the day. It's a €100,000 handicap hurdle, and it's called the Crafty Butcher, who has been infuriating for the owner's perspective because it's just failing narrowly to get into races like the Galway Plate, the Irish Grand National, but it's seriously well handicapped, both over fence and over hurdles. It's only raced 128 over hurdles, £7 higher over fences. Soft ground is what it needs, and it gets that. And the fact that Ruby Walsh is getting down to 10 stone 3 and is deserting the likes of Ozzie Rains and Cap Dabois speaks volumes to me. I think the Crafty Butcher is really well handicapped, and I think he'll win for Paul. And one other horse that I think will win in the nursery at 4:15, I think Sebastiano Ricci might have got in lightly here off a mark 78. Quite well exposed, but I think 7 furlongs around Galway on soft ground has again drawn stall 1, which is obviously ideal. I think Sebastiano Ricci is really interesting in that 4:15.
That bastard Byrne hasn't told me anything about the Crafty Butcher, so if that wins without him getting in touch, there will be all sorts of problems. Frank, who'd you like at Galway?
The 2:30, a horse called Big Ben, ran twice in the flat for Aidan O'Brien. It was third on debut behind Stellar Mass, beaten 4 lengths. Not bad. Won a maiden at the Curragh then over 10 furlongs. Came back in Fairy House in November and was second to Land of Hope and Glory on his hurdles debut. He actually went off favourite that day. He's been put away since, and he's in a maiden hurdle here for Joseph, who Joseph O'Brien is absolutely flying. I think he'll take an unbelievable amount of beating. In the 305, I did down to 2, and I'd probably back the 2 of them each way. Well, one each way and one
Not
win
after
only.
rain, surely.
Definitely after rain. Steps up to 2 miles, 6.5.
We've been waiting 2 years for this thing.
Oh, well, come here. We're going to get paid at some stage. Now, we mightn't get back the money we've lost, but we'll get paid at some stage. But I think at Punchtown, he was very eye-catching. He ran over 2.5 miles, stayed on really strongly, beaten just over 2 lengths by Open Eagle. Dropped to 2 miles at Killarney. Probably against, but he steps back up to 6.5 here. I think it could be the make of him, but I agree with David. The Crafty Butcher looks absolutely chucked in, and it'll only be each way better than after rain, because I think the Crafty Butcher taking the right amount of beating. In the last race, this is an absolute certainty. True
worth waiting for then.
True self of Willie Mullins. She made her debut for Don Cantillon in a bumper at Warwick, and she was absolutely off the boards. She got to the front and she just ran around all over the place. She did everything wrong. Got nabbed in the line by a horse at Brian Edson called Shearling. Shearling ran a listed bumper, I think, in Aintree, won 2 or 3 bumpers. She won a maiden on the flat at Chester. I think she might have even finished 3rd or 4th in a listed race on the flat, and she's really good. But this horse has moved to Willie Mullins, and if you can get anything bigger than even money, get everything you have in it.
True self in the 5.55.
I have one more. The 5.25. Now the draw isn't brilliant, but Tony Martin normally gets a winner at Galway, and Tudor City hasn't run the flat since hacking up a Limerick off a mark of 61. Now I got £12 that day, but even off 73, if you look at some of its best hurdle runs, you could say it's got a good enough chance of winning off 73. He's won at the festival before in 2015. Bar the draw, I'd be very confident that he'll be involved. So he could be an each way price. He could be 6, maybe 7, 8 to 1.
Have you been down there this week, Frank?
I was down there Tuesday. I was involved in a horse that was running Tuesday, but unfortunately didn't run too well.
Oh, well.
We had a good all night. Good, struggling all right Wednesday on the drive home.
Jeez, I fancy it, don't you, G?
Oh, I'd love to go.
We've got to go, haven't we?
It's very good, yeah.
It always falls on such a bad week for us.
I know, they've got
Goodwood
to split Goodwood and Galway up. They've got to do something about it. It will never happen because neither course cares enough about it. But for the rest of us, it's absolutely preposterous that they're both the same. OK, let's do the naps.
This will not be beaten.
Who do you like? Graham Rodway.
First drive, 2:40 Newmarket.
David Jennings.
Tamul, 4:45 Goodwood.
And Frank Hickey.
5.55 Galway, the biggest certainty of all time, true self.